Hello everyone. I hope you are well, and today we will talk about governance. Why governance is important in your company and what the consequences might be if you don't have one. Over the past months, we have heard a lot about various companies being fined for their non-compliance with laws and regulations. For example, anti-money laundering, anti-bribery and corruption, anti-fraud, cybersecurity, and others. The most vivid examples are German branch of Deutsche Bank and Chinese unit of BNP Paribas had to pay 15 million euros and 378,000 American dollars respectively for money laundering violations. UK branch of Commerzbank had to pay 38 million British pounds due to money laundering deficiencies. Recent scandal with Wirecard as well. But apart from financial institutions, companies from other industries have also been involved in scandals and had to pay fines. For example, pharmaceutical company Alexion had to pay 21 million American dollars to settle claims around bribes to government officials. From all these examples, we can see that the regulators across the world are getting much more harsh towards companies for their non-compliance with laws and regulations. And the reason for that is because governments are constantly looking for new ways to fight money laundering. Also, the mentality is changing, and the companies can't operate the way they want as it was, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago. In fact, they constantly need to keep up to date with new laws and regulations, and also the regulator follows a common legal principle: ignorance of law excuses no one. So, what is the most common mistake that companies do exposing themselves to regulatory fines? The answer here is the fact that senior management does not always set the right tone in order to address financial crime risks. What it means is that most of the times, senior management prefers to turn a blind eye on high-risk scenarios, and as a result, companies do not always take active steps in order to prevent financial crime-related activity. If you remember, in one of our previous videos, we spoke about what constitutes money laundering. And just as a refresh, you do not need to be directly involved in money laundering activity. If you act in a position of a senior management, it will be more than enough to demonstrate little involvement in mitigating financial crime risks. This can include, for example, narrow compliance with minimum regulatory standards, and as a result, inability to see a wider picture of financial crime risks which should be addressed. The most common excuse for senior management is that compliance consultants are too expensive and they do not bring any income. To be honest with you, only the last part of this is correct. But if you think that compliance is too expensive, I would like to quote very famous words of the former US Deputy Attorney General Paul McNulty, who stated that if you think that compliance is expensive, try non-compliance and you will see that your costs will be much greater. And this has already been confirmed in my previous statement and examples of various fines for various financial institutions and other industrial companies. So, what you need to do in order to be compliant? Firstly, your company should have proper policies and procedures in place, which should in turn be regularly monitored. The policies and procedures should not only cover anti-money laundering, just as well as they do not only cover financial institutions. Regardless of the nature of your business, whether you are a commodity trader or a pharmaceutical company, you should have internal procedures and policies in place. And apart from money laundering, it should also cover anti-bribery and corruption, anti-fraud, cybersecurity, dealings with vendors, governance, etc. Secondly, apart from having a proper framework in place, senior management should be responsible that all the employees in the company do understand what these policies and procedures are about. How to achieve this? Well, by simply providing face-to-face trainings to your members of staff so that they could achieve that professional level where they can mitigate the risks that your company can be exposed to. And what is also vital to understand for the senior management is that the more professionally educated your members of staff, the more you can rely on them. So what TFC compliance can do for companies in these instances? First of all, we can address risks that your company is facing and develop strategies in order to mitigate those risks in future. For sure, we can provide support to the senior management in order to set the right tone so that your company will be moving in the right direction. That also goes without saying that we do put companies' policy and procedures framework in place and deliver them via face-to-face trainings to members of staff. And if it happens so that your company did get into trouble, for sure we are there to support companies and find the right solution for you. As always, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please do leave your comments. For more information about our company, do visit our website. We are also on Facebook and Instagram, where you can follow us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a good day. Goodbye.